Hey friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I am super excited about this recipe I'm going to share with you today. I have been working on it for a while and it recently just came together. It's going to be a basic breading that you can use for all kinds of things. Anything that you would bread and fry or air fry. I've used it now for chicken nuggets, for chicken strips, for fish, chicken wings. They all turned out amazing. So on keto, I've tried a lot of different products for breading, and I try not to have a lot of nuts in my diet, so things like almond flour are out for me. I do like pork rind crumbs or pork panko, but I find that the end result when breading with just the pork rind crumbs kind of gets slimy. It's fine, but I don't love it. Adding in some powdered Parmesan cheese definitely helps, but right now I am going cheese-free, and so I wanted to find something that was going to taste really good without the cheese. So I actually used the pork rind crumbs as a base and then added a couple other simple 100% carnivore ingredients, and the result completely blew me away. The stuff that I breaded kept its crisp for a lot longer than just the pork rind crumbs alone, and they looked and felt just like a regular breadcrumb breaded chicken strip or chicken nugget. I was shocked. So this breading is completely customizable. I'll show you what seasonings I'm going to do in my simple chicken strips today, but it's one of those where you could add any seasonings that you like and really go crazy with it. I will mention that the pork rind crumbs that I'm going to be using are from Beavercreek Rd, and these and other brands that I've used add salt to their pork rind crumbs, so keep that in mind when you're seasoning. It's a little bit different than seasoning just plain breadcrumbs. Taking a quick break here to tell you about Element, who is the sponsor of today's video. Element is an electrolyte supplement that is science-backed and tastes really, really good. I've been using electrolytes now for over a year, and they have really, really improved my health. And I love that I'm able to do that in a delicious way with Element. They have lots of fun flavors. I think of the fruity flavors, my favorite is the raspberry salt. It's a tie between the raspberry salt and the citrus salt, but each packet has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Element is offering a special deal for any of my viewers. You can use my link down below to get a free sample pack with any order that you place. In the sample pack, there's one of each of their regular 8 flavors, so you can try them all or pass them on to a friend. To get this deal, just go to drinkelement.com/indigo. That is DRINKLMNT.com/indigo. Thanks so much to Element for sponsoring this video, and now back to the recipe. So here are the basic 3 ingredients for the breading. And if you guys have been around my channel for a while, you probably aren't surprised. The base is gonna be the pork rind crumbs, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of beef gelatin and some egg white powder. And what I found is that I think it's the gelatin that helps stuff stay crispy. Also, I think the egg white powder helps the breading adhere to the chicken better. Have you guys ever made chicken strips or fried chicken and it was like chicken in a sleeve of breading and the chicken was able to just pull right out? That does not happen with this breading. It like adheres. Okay, enough talk. Let's just go ahead and get started. I have 1.5 pounds of chicken tenders here, and I'm gonna mix up 1 recipe's worth of the breading, and I'll let you know about how many chicken tenders or how many pounds of chicken tenders it makes. The first thing we're gonna add is 2 ounces of the pork rind crumbs, and that is about 60 grams or 3/4 of a cup. Next is 1 tablespoon of gelatin. I like to use the Now brand beef gelatin, but any unflavored gelatin should work. And we're just gonna add in 10 grams or 1 tablespoon. Next is the egg white powder, and we are going to do 1/2 cup, which is 40 grams. For the seasoning today, I am going to use some Beavercreek Rd ranch seasoning, and today's video is not sponsored by Beavercreek Rd. I just genuinely love their products. I think I'm going to do about 2 teaspoons in here, and so these will be like ranch flavored chicken strips. Just giving this a quick mix to make sure everything's incorporated, and I want to get all these little clumps of pork rind crumbs, and they kind of get coated with the gelatin and the egg white powder, because of course the pork rinds have fat in them. They're pork rinds, of course, and so the powder from the egg whites and the gelatin kind of absorbs that a little bit and gives you more of a panko breadcrumb feel. Then for the egg mixture that you dip the chicken strips in first, I'm just doing 1 egg, and then I just usually do a dash of heavy whipping cream, and I was gonna weigh it here just to see how much it ends up being. All right, so about 1.5 tablespoons, just a dash. So if you have a deep fryer, that's going to work great for this recipe. I don't have a deep fryer, so I am just going to be using my pan and a big old hunk of bacon grease. Never throw away your bacon grease. Just save it for a rainy day. That's probably close to a cup of bacon grease, and I'm going to put my stove on medium, and I'm going to let that slowly heat up and melt while I get my chicken strips breaded. I'm just getting these chicken strips a little bit dry with some paper towels here. And I don't expect I'll be able to bread all of these chicken strips with this amount of breading, but I just wanted to see how much I could so I could give you an idea. Just a real simple process. Dip in the egg wash, then throw in the breading, get that coated pretty well. I usually try to have one hand that touches wet things and one hand that touches dry things, and that seems to work out pretty good. This would be a great recipe for freezer cooking. I've done freezer chicken strips before, just with other ingredients, and you just get them all breaded like this and lay them on a pan, put them in the freezer, let them freeze all the way solid, and then pull them off and put them into a Ziploc bag and keep them in the freezer for cooking, and they cook great from frozen. So now this is just the monotonous job, one after the other, getting them all breaded. Okay, I got all but 2. So over a pound of chicken strips were breaded by this amount of breading. If you're doing chicken nuggets that are smaller, they'll have more breading per capita, so you'll have to do, less, maybe 3/4 of a pound or so, but that'll give you at least an idea. So this bacon grease has been heating up on medium heat for a while, and I don't think it's quite ready. You want it to be about to the point of smoking, but you can also check it by throwing in a little piece of breading and see if it starts sizzling really fast, and it definitely didn't. So this is not ready. Don't put your chicken strips in cold oil. If it's not hot enough, it's just gonna make a mess. So we'll wait another minute to let this heat up a little more. I might turn it up a little bit to heat it up faster, but I probably will be turning it back down to medium as I'm cooking my chicken strips. I can see it just barely starting to smoke, so I'm gonna throw a little bit more in here. See, yeah, that is what you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking these. With these chicken tenderloins, it usually takes about 3 minutes per side, but of course it's gonna depend on the thickness of your chicken, so always check the internal temperature. Don't wanna crowd these in here too much, just maybe 3 or 4. One other thing that I love about this breading is it doesn't seem to stick to the pans. There are some that I've used where it just feels like it glues right down to the bottom of the pan as soon as you put it in. And this one, I have to loosen it up occasionally, but for the most part, they're just freely moving around in there, which I love. All right, gonna go ahead and give these a flip. Look at how beautiful that is. I did turn down the heat because I don't want it to burn faster. I don't want the breading to burn faster than the chicken inside can cook. So just look at how gorgeous that looks. I mean, that just looks like a panko breaded chicken strip. It doesn't look anything like a keto chicken strip. I just can't get over how beautiful they are. All right, I don't want these to get overcooked. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out. These last four I'm going to cook in my air fryer. I'm using my Kasori dual blaze air fryer that has the heating element on the bottom as well. So hopefully I won't have to flip them at all. I am going to spray them with a little bit of the avocado oil spray. Obviously that is not carnivore, so if you're very strict carnivore, you could maybe sprinkle with some melted bacon grease or something like that. All right, over to the air fryer. For cook time, I'm gonna do 400 degrees for 12 minutes, but I'm gonna check it because that might be too much. So I will let you know how much it ends up being. These have been going for 10 minutes and I think they're done. So I'm gonna call that good. Ooh, so crispy. These are the air fryer ones. And these are the ones cooked in the pan. They both taste amazing. Obviously the air fryer ones are a lot easier and you use less fat. So it's kind of a preference. Some people like the less fat. Some people like the deep fried taste. They're both delicious. Let me show you the inside here and then we can do a crunch test. But do you see how there's no space between the breading and the chicken? It's like completely glued on there. There are no breading sleeves on this chicken whatsoever. And then the ends over here are always the crispiest. So let me show you the crisp. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So this is very crispy, like the edges, like right here. It's so mind-blowing that this has nothing of bread in it. It doesn't even taste like pork rind crumbs. It just tastes like a chicken strip, like a real chicken strip that you would get from a restaurant. Here's one of the air fryer ones. It's still got some good crisp here. Crispy, crunchy. Oh my gosh. I mean, they're both so good. All I need is like some ranch or honey mustard or barbecue sauce or all of the above to dip. And this could be like from Red Robin or something. Seriously, so good. So thank you so much for watching. You will definitely be seeing me play with this recipe, the basic breading recipe, in other applications. It can work in so many things. I have already made chicken nuggets, which turned out phenomenal. I have made breaded chicken wings and coated them in a sticky sweet buffalo sauce, and the breading kept its crisp. So you could make like boneless wings like you'd get from a restaurant where it's basically just a crispy chicken nugget that's tossed in sauce. You could do that with this breading and it wouldn't get soggy too quickly. Obviously, after it's sat in the fridge overnight, it's gonna get soggy just like a regular chicken strip or boneless buffalo wing would, but it holds its crisp long enough that you can enjoy it coated in the sauce. Also, I wanted to mention that if you wanted to make these completely dairy-free, you could omit the heavy whipping cream in the egg wash, or you could just replace it with some coconut milk. Either one of those options would work great, and then it would be 100% dairy-free as well. I also use this breading on some halibut fish sticks that I made the other day that you will be seeing in my What I Eat in a Day video coming up. So you're definitely gonna see more of this breading as I continue to play with it. I hope you guys try it. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video.